Guys, welcome. My name's Nick Fredrickson. I'm just going to be running you through today's session, which is Results HQ for beginners. So we're just looking at the results recording process to help a newbie or somebody that's been away from the system for a while that's looking to get back to the basics on what we need to do. So if this is the class for you, then welcome. If not, we've got a more advanced one that is available as well. So let's just jump into it. So we've got this first block that we're going to look at, which will be looking at where to log in, how to do the season rollover, adding new users, and also switching between profiles or accounts. So let's jump in. So if you haven't got the login page in your browser, then let's just do what you possibly do. You just look for Results HQ from Google. See what it comes up with. This is what we're looking for here, resultshq.com.au. So this is where the families log in. So you'll notice there's a track in the background. It looks a little different, but there's this button here called admin user. So if we were a family and we didn't have access to Results HQ, the admin area, then this would be great. But because we're trying to get into that back end, the admin user area, we need to click on this link. And you'll notice it's logged me straight in. I'll just log out. Boom, boom, boom. So this is what it looks like. So if you haven't already, I would save that as a favorites, that page, so you can always get there without having to search and click on links. This way, this is where I need to go to log into the admin area. So I'm just going to log in because it's remembered my username and password. If you can't quite remember what those details are, if you click on the forgot password and put in your email, it will then send you a link, and that link will let you reset your password. It won't tell you what the password is, it'll only let you reset it. Because I've got mine saved in my browser and so on, it's already loaded for me, so I'm just going to go and log in. Once I've logged in here, this is the default center that it opens up into. But it's not the one that we're actually going to look through today. I'm just going to go to my other center, the demo test one. Okay, so here's demo test one. At the top of the page, we can see this little reminder here about the new season steps. So the first thing we're actually going to be doing this morning is rolling the season over. And we're actually going to look at users, how to add them. And then we'll have a little catch up and debrief before we move on to the other topics. So this is the season that has been. It's got my members, it's got some results or events that happened, but we need to get ready for the new season. So what do? I could click on this, and this will open up the help topic and show me through the steps. But the reason I'm on here with you is to run through it in person. So I'm going to go to more and come down here to season rollover. Once we're in here, we can see that that's our season that was last year or a prior season. I need to update it to the new season. So I'm just going to click on this button here, suspend all members. So we're not deleting members, we're not deleting results, we're just archiving and suspending. So if I press this button and I write the word suspend in capitals like it has here, I've just put that in here and go submit. All my members on my home page have now been suspended, so they'll be empty. I've got these results here that I want to get rid of, so I'm just going to go archive results. So this is purely giving, if I can spell my email correctly, this is going to send me an email when it's done. Depending on how big your center is, this may take a few minutes or it may just be 10 seconds. So either way, it will send me an email when it's finished archiving. And again, I need to put in capitals the word archive. This is just so it's a conscious effort that we are archiving, that we can't accidentally click a button and archive our season. We have to really be conscious that we're trying to do this right now. So it's going to go ahead and try and archive. I could wait for the email, which is obviously what the system's designed to do. But if I just refresh when it's done, as it is done now, we can see it comes up with this update season. So it's currently, and I've just got some emails that have come in. So here we go, archive is complete, thank you. Now the last step here is update the season. Because my season is out of date, I've got this green button. If I had archived and I'm actually in the correct season, I wouldn't have this button and it wouldn't let me update because I'm already in the correct season if I somehow did that accidentally. So by clicking on this and write the word update, we are now in the 1920 season. So that is how to do the rollover, which is basically what are in these steps that we've just gone through. That's me doing a live version of that. So now on my home page, my members are empty, my results are empty, and we're ready to start the new season. So that was going through where to log in, season rollover. Now we're going to talk about users and who should have access. And again, here's a little help topic to talk through users, but because I'm here, let's go through it together. So setup, drop down users. In here, there's a couple of users that are already in the system. If one or a couple of these were not supposed to because it's a new season, that committee member doesn't need to be there anymore, we could go edit, and then we could delete them or change their user level. We could also add new access if we needed to. However, if there's somebody that's brand new, we're happy with these three. We need a new person added, then I would click add. If there's a relevant title, I can do that. That's not required, it's just nice to have. So test user, phone number, and an email. I'll need to just put a little extra bit in here. So it's my email, a bit varied. So just on that point, you need to make sure that that email is legitimate, because then this person won't be able to access unless they've verified their email and that they have access to that to click a link, which is the process to verify it. So I've just put this in for demonstration's sake, but this user won't be able to be activated if they can't get to that actual email address. Now the different types of users, who are they, what are they? So a super user, well, just while we're on this page, we've got this green question mark. So if I open this little link, this is telling us how to do what we're just doing, but it also then gives you a little list of what the different users have access to. So a super user, this is a screenshot of all the various functions that they have access to. Basically, they can do everything that I'm doing right now. A registrar has access to just these areas. Club registrar is the same but restricted to just their club. A results person, they have access to do recording forms and to enter results. A reporting person, they have access to just basically their review only, so they can go in and do any of the reports, print things off or look at things, but they can't edit results or add members or anything else. Versus then a nominations person, their role is just purely to be able to manage all the nominations that are coming through. And then you've got your mobile user, which is only allowed to access via the app, the mobile, so competition HQ, those sorts of things. So that's what the different users are. So in here, if they were going to be a super user, then I would select that now. If we don't have clubs at our center, then I can't select a club, and then submit. And then an email will be sent off, and we can see here we've got a red number 1 here. So that means we've set them up, but they haven't confirmed yet. They haven't been able to sign in and say, yes, this is me. But in theory, no, because I put that, it won't actually come through to my inbox, but that would be the process. If this person didn't get the invite, I can send them a password reset, which will then help them, so remind them to have a look in their junk mail or some other folder. But if the email is correct, then they should be able to get it. If they've missed it or deleted it accidentally, you can resend the password reset, and they'll go through the steps of becoming an official user. So that's the users. Now the switching accounts. So most of you will most probably be a family with athletes who have kids that compete, as well as a centre administrator person. The cool part about that is if you've used the same username to be a centre person as well as a family, then up here in accounts, I've just got lots in here because that's my role, but in theory you would just have one name for one centre that you're a part of, and then down the bottom you would have your family. So you just have two accesses. So by clicking on the family one, it will actually bounce me out of centre admin and into my family area. And then if I wanted to get from my family area back to centre admin, then I would just click on centre admin and it brings me back in. So I don't need to log out, go somewhere else and log back in. Simply by selecting the appropriate access that I'm looking for, that I have been given access to, I can go between the two. If I need to manage my account details, then by clicking on account, obviously I've got a bunch of centres here, there's various centres that I've got access to that I can manage, but down here are my details. Who is Nick? If I've changed my email, I need to update that here. Also any contact details, I can do that. I need to change my password, I can do that too. So that's where I manage my profile or my account, is through those steps, along with whatever I have access to in here. So I can make one of these my default, or edit my mailing list, and so on. So that wraps up our first section: where to log in, how to roll over, setting up users and who should have access, and getting between your accounts. Hope that was helpful, and let's have a catch up and work through all your questions from here. Thanks guys. Okay, g'day, welcome back. My name's Nick Fredrickson. We've just gone through the first of 3 videos where we looked at the pre-season preparation, how to log in, season rollover, users and switching between accounts. Now we're moving on to the second of the 3 videos, which is how to set up your program. So this is adding events to the list, checking out the rules if we need to add those, adding dates to the calendar, having a play with the templates and recycling of programs or starting afresh, printing recording sheets and entering results. So this is basically your weekly cycle of what you need to do week on week. So let's just jump in. So I'm back in my demo profile, so let's go back to demo test 1. In here what we have is the home page, and there's no events that are set up as yet. Okay, so let's jump in. So in here, this is demo LAC 500. So this actually has members and it has events, but we need to go about setting up new events because we need to add some in. So on my home page, I've got this option here to open up the calendar, the help topic on what we're about to do. So this is the static version of the steps we're about to do. So to add a program or add a date to my calendar so we can go and do the recording sheets and enter results and so on. If you go to event, drop down calendar, this is all the previous things that have been uploaded into this demo center. If I go and click on add new, in here I can put in a name for what this is. So we'll call this demo day. I could repeat this, or I could call it program 1, if I can spell program correctly. and then we can give it a date. So let's make it this coming Saturday. I've got the option to create from fresh some events. So this combination that I've just clicked on could be layers of the onion. So that's the first layer of the events that I need to add to my program. So by clicking now add events, when it refreshes, we now have that combination. So think of it like layers of an onion. So we've just built out the first layer. I could add some more events to the same age groups and the same gender, or just a single gender, and put in something else that they're also sharing with the 9s and 10s, and add that in. So now you can see we've got 9s and 10s, they're doing the same events as the 6, 7, 8s. That was a crossover. Now I need to work more on the 9s and 10s and fill out the rest of their events that they might be doing. Obviously I'm just making things up, so if you're wondering, you're doing a pretty bad job of programming, Nick, totally respect that, because I'm not paying attention to the events and the effort and other things. So that's one way. So that's just creating ones from fresh. However, if you've got data in the system from last year and you're recycling those programs, then by going to copy existing meets, I've got all the history that's within this system going all the way back to 2017 of programs that have been ran previously. So if I do want to recycle one without going and building out my onion or the layers of programming for the different age gender events, then I could just click on this, preview it, just make sure it is what I thought. It's like, great, that's what I want. That H means heat, by the way, so these aren't all hurdles, including high jump and long jump and shot put. They're just heats, and that's the default that we use. So if I'm happy with that, I can then just copy that in. Then it's going to go and build out. It shouldn't duplicate if there are existing events like we have already in the system. It should just add the extras that are missing. So now we've got all these extra events that I didn't have to rebuild. So that's another way. So we've done a create from fresh, clicking buttons, we've copied. We may have a template. So the difference between copy existing meet is that you may have tweaked one of these. So you may have copied it from a template, but then you've tweaked it. So if I copy an existing date, it may not be a clean template because we altered it on the day. Maybe it rained or something and we've added events or removed events. Versus if I use a template, this is a static reference. It's more like a stamp. We don't go and edit and change the stamp. We can change what happens on the day once we've applied the stamp. So that's just the difference. So if you do want to set up templates, great. You don't have to. You can just copy existing meet, but you just need to be mindful that you may have a variation between what you think that meet was. Due to weather, it may have changed. Otherwise, you can do an import from Excel as well. So that's step one, how to add the meets to a calendar. So now if I go to my home page, I'll see I've got this new date and it will have the relevant age gender events that we asked it to build out for us. So you can see they're all called heats, and here's all the 7s, male, female, 8 male, female, and so on. If there are some events, so I've kind of skipped on to number 3 here, so I'll just backtrack. If there are some events that are missing because you've got some new programming that you need to work on, if I go to more and come into events, this has all the events that are available in the system. I can remove an event, so I've just removed backstroke, and now I could add in something else. So if you come in through here and you've changed events, or you need to add a new event that's just been created for your center, then this is where you can either remove them or add them in. So that was event, more. I'll just go back a step. So that was in more, then events, and then that's that screen there. if I wanted to add rules, which is the next step here. So that's events. Now with rules, you don't have to have rules, but why would you want rules? So rules will let you display on the recording sheets what it is that you're supposed to do for that event. So if we've got a rule in here, actually let me just find a quick way of doing this. Down here, if there is a rule applied, like here, Frosby, someone's built some rules in here, so let's go have a look. Alright, it's just some junk. So this is our demo center, but basically that's the rule that they've applied. So if we did a recording sheet, that would appear at the top. But let's just do a fresh one. So we'll come up to the top, and I want to apply a rule. Let's go to shot put. Okay, cool. Someone's already got rules in here. So this is the rules for shot put. Please use the below reference boys, girls, age, gender and weight. So that's a rule. So then when it comes to printing recording sheets, so we've done events, rules, how to add. We've talked about using the template and recycling programs or starting afresh. Now when we go to recording sheets, it's going to build, or it's going to make available recording sheets based on who is in my profile, what age, gender, events I have, and then another layer being what are the rules that I have set up. So I need to click on this button here for recording forms, or come up to the top, go recording forms. It's automatically found the next available date, which is tomorrow. Here's all the events that we built, and here's the different age, gender groups. So if I wanted to, I could just go shot put and long jump, so I just select both of those. And if we quickly go have a look, I can add blank rows because it's the start of the season potentially, so I want some extra rows for people to be able to have a free hand name written on the page because they're not in the system as yet. I've got the option for it to be regular or condensed. I'll show you what that looks like. And I can have it printed either by age group, by event name, or by event number, as in the number of event, the order of events. So if I was an age marshal and all my folders get made up by age group, then this is the default. However, if we had event marshals instead of age marshals, and I want all the shot puts in one folder, then I'll change this to the other way. So it would collate all the events together, versus if I did age, it's going to collate all the age groups together, if that makes sense. And then my last option here is, do I want the athletes listed in PB order, number order, as in the number on the chest, last name, first name or club. So PB is generally the default, and do I just need some blank recording sheets? So I'm just going to go ahead and show you what the regular looks like. So it's built out a new page. It's going to load up with all the age, gender, events. So here's 6 male. For long jump, that's the current record. And there's no athletes in the 6 male. Here's shot put, so here's that rules that we looked at before. So this is where it's gone and inserted that. If I come down here to the 7s, we've now got some athletes for long jump, the record and so on. So here we can see the athlete's number, first name, last name, the club, and if they had a PB, it would be in that right hand column. Same goes here, and when we get to shot put, we can see the rules are showing in there, and it's the same format. So that's what we call regular, where 1A4, and then if I go print, 1A4 per age, gender, event. So if I change this to portrait. So this is better for bigger centers where they've got lots of names they need to work with. However, not everybody likes a single bit of A4 per age, gender, event. So that's when then we change it from regular to condensed. And if I go preview, it's going to have the same athletes and the same events, but it's going to lay it out quite differently. So 1A4 now should cover off all events So we can see here we've got the 7 males, and they've got shot put, 3 attempts, the best of, long jump, 3 attempts, the best of for one athlete. So instead of having 2 bits of A4 for the 7 males, I've now just got 1. At least 1 potential page, depending on how many pages that flows over when we go to print. So you can see here that's okay on one page. This one here creeps over because of the blank rows and so on. So that's condensed. So that's condensed versus regular versus adding blank rows or not. I don't have to select these, but if I do, that's their only focus. If we're using timing software, then we don't need the track events printed off by paper because the software will look after them. So generally it's just your field events. Now high jump has a separate button all by itself down here, so I could print it off with normal, but this high jump recording sheet looks a little different if we do this option. So now what it has, no, I don't want this translated, thank you. It's got my attempts, so I can have up to 10 heights and 3 attempts at each height. So it's specific to high jump versus the normal recording sheets are not. You've just got your 3 attempts and your best, your 3 attempts and your best, versus high jump is a different beast altogether with your 3 attempts to pass a height and then hopefully move on to the next height. So that's some of the basics there about the options on this page without getting into detail. One other thing that we haven't looked at is age grouping. If I wanted to group up some age groups to be on the one bit of paper, then that's where I can use the age grouping. Where are we up to? Now we're going to go and enter some results. So the last bit, hopefully the paperwork has come back in nice and neat. I'm able to read it. So I come down to the appropriate date, being the 4th. There's lots of events on this page because there's no results being entered, as in we can see there's participants 0 of 14. So no athletes out of potentially 14 of the under 7 girls haven't had any results recorded as yet. So by the end of the day, in theory, this screen is going to be very short or empty because they all have 1 or more as a participant and are hidden. I can access them by clicking view results with results versus without results. So let's just filter. So I've got some 7 male recording sheets have just come in, and there's these. So I'm just going to open up all these tabs. So I'm just going to hold the control key on my keyboard. I'll close some of these tabs up the top so it doesn't get too busy up there. So I'm going to hold the control, click here, you'll notice there's a new tab. Next one, next one, next one. So basically I've just opened up all the different events for the 7 male. You can see the names changing. Sorry, the event details changing. Now I'm going to enter in some results. So I click on the blue, enter edit results. This is for the 80 meter hurdles. So I'm just going to start by putting in, I don't know, I'll make up some time. So 12.56. If I press tab, it bounces to the next one. The status changes from DNS, as in did not start, changes to OK, which is great. That's what we want. And then we're going to do 13.21, tab, 14.23. Now if I press enter, it's going to save and it's going to alert me. Currently there isn't a record for this event, and so it's asking me that this is potentially a new record. So I'm just going to accept results. And now on my screen, if I sort this, I've got first, second, third, there's the results. It's a PB for these guys, and now that's set as their new season best moving forward for the rest of the season. I can just close that now if I want to and move on to the next one. Enter edit results, key in the outcome, press enter, or press save, then move on to the next one. I can sort this screen to match my paperwork, so the default is that it's sorted by PB order, which is the way it sorts in the recording sheet screen. But if I need to change it to the other orders here, because I changed them when I printed the paperwork so my paper matches my screen, then I can do that here. So that's just the process. Into edit results, key it in, press save, move on to the next and close it out. So now if I refresh on this screen, if I go with results, there's this one and it's showing me 7 of 13 and the current best result is this, and there are no center records still acknowledged for that event. Okay, so that's a quick snapshot of setting up your events if they're missing, adding rules if you need to, how to add a date to your calendar, how to build out a program within that date, printing recording sheets, and then entering results. Great, thanks guys, I hope that helped. G'day guys, welcome back. My name's Nick Fredrickson. We're just having a look at the last of 3 videos, the 3rd video in the series here for results entry. We're going to be looking at 2 bits of software. We're going to have a look at Race HQ using pack mode, so no timing hardware, just the software. So as long as you've got a Windows laptop, then we're good to go. And we'll go through where to download, how to log in, running a race, keying in athletes. Also then looking at the PBs and center records, uploading and review saved race. Okay, so step 1, where to download. So if we come up here to support, timing solutions, come on to Race HQ, and we've got this here, latest software downloads. So all I need to do is click on this and download. There's a bunch of videos if you did have our hardware. So I've just downloaded that already, so I'll just get rid of that. So that's where you download. So I'm just going to start up Race HQ. So this is for Windows only, so Windows laptops. You can have a Windows tablet if it's up to speed, but not an Android or iOS Apple product. It needs to be Windows based. So once this fires up, I'll just show you a few little things in the settings on where to log in. Because I've already logged in on this application, it already has my details. But if I was first time in here, so it's just telling me I haven't got a timing hub connected, which is fine because I don't. So I just click on that and ignore it. Up here in the settings is where I have my login details. So I've got my email, my password, and hit login. That will then just confirm that yes, I do have access, and that's the center that I'm dialed into today. And it's just re-downloading the members PB results events and so on. So that's how you log in. So make sure you've got the right email and your password and hit login, and then you should have a positive outcome with some details flowing in there. Okay, next on the list is I'm in pack mode versus if I had timing gates, I could be in sprint or in some other scenarios, but pack is what we're focusing on. We don't need any gates, so there's no hardware we're connecting up, so leave that as 0. And there's no start devices or triggers. We're just running software only, no hardware connection. So I'll just hit Go Race. Once I'm in Go Race, and just make that bigger. I've got a bunch of columns that appear here. I can drag these wider. I can also turn on or off columns that I may want to see or don't want to see. So I've got my PB and I've got my record, which is great. I've got the overall place and I've got the age, gender, the times, athlete's number, the name, the age, and the gender. So that all looks pretty good. I could turn on club as well. Okay, now to start a race, I haven't selected an event yet. I don't have to, but I could. But I can do it without. So if I go to click on start, it brings up a little box here that tells me if I use the control key, I can start it instead of having to click on this, which is what I prefer. So I'm going to leave my mouse down here, and I'm going to hit the control key. Now that the race is running, I have the option to start triggering times, or as it tells me, I can use the shift key. If I had to rerun because it was a false start, I could do that. Are you sure? Yes. So I'll hit control again. I could stop the race if I needed to, but let's just roll on. So instead of hitting the trigger button, I'm just going to hit the shift key. So 6 times. I still haven't chosen a distance, but I'm going to key in a number for an athlete. or I can key in a name. And we can see here we've got mixed age genders in one race. We've got lots of first places, and we've also got our overall placing. I still haven't got any PBs or records because I haven't told it what distance I'm doing. But if I change this, here we go, we've got lots of flashing arrows highlighting we've got potential records, and we've got lots of PBs. So in theory, right now this race is finished, so I'm happy to stop it. Or if somebody else is coming home later, 2 more people, I can just write in visitor Jack. So it doesn't have to be a known athlete, it'll still accept that, and I could just leave this as blank if I wanted to. Or if I had accidentally clicked on it and I want to get rid of it, then I can click on the number and there's a little tick box, and also this bin appears, so then I can go and get rid of this. Okay, so now I'm just going to hit stop, and as I press save, based on my settings, because I have internet access at the moment, as I press save, it's going to automatically upload when saving. So now if I come over here and I press save, down the bottom it's uploading and it's getting that information up to the web. So if I jump up to the web quickly, and I'm in my demonstration center, I can see I've got 6 athletes have had something for today. I go into the home page with results. I can see these 100-meter times, lots of firsts, and that's their time. So we can see we've got lots of data has just been uploaded without me having to re-key anything. So that's what's just occurred. If I come back to the timing software, I'm ready for my next race, so I can hit Control, Shift, repeat that. I'll just do it quickly again. Press stop. Lots of PBs and potential records again. Save, repeat. It's uploading. There'll be some more times up in the cloud. So we did have 6, now we've got 11, and so on. So that's all we need to do with the timing software. So we've seen where to download it, we've logged in, we've ran a race, we've keyed in IDs, we've seen PBs and CRs, we've uploaded results. Now if I wanted to, I could go back to historical results. So the scenario is I've ran the races, I haven't had any internet, but I do want to upload later on when I get home. So instead of being in pack, and this is maybe 3 hours later, I've started up Race HQ again, I'm going to go to saved events, and this is going to show me the races that I've had from this morning or today. I can review these one by one, and I can edit if I need to. I could change the event if I need to, and I can re-upload if I want to. Also, if I stay up here in missing entries, I could just upload all, and it will go and re-upload all my races. So if I had 100 races, instead of clicking on each one individually and pressing upload, it will let me upload, and then it will give me any feedback of anyone that wasn't set up. So there wasn't a 20 male event set up, and visitor Jack isn't a known athlete, so he wasn't also set up. So if there's not if there is not a matching age gender event, it won't let you upload. Okay, so that's how you go and check out saved events. So instead of being in pack, I come down to saved, and we're up and racing from there. Okay, so that's Race HQ. Now we're moving on to Competition HQ. The difference between race and competition: race is just for timing, so you can't use it for recording long jump, shot put and other things. Versus Competition HQ, it's there as your replacement for paper. So I'm just going to start up Competition HQ. Where I'd go to get this, so if I came into support, and instead of going to race, I go to Competition HQ. We've got this introduction here which shows you excuse me, a bunch of videos about how to do various things. But if I just wanted to download a copy for my Windows laptop, I could come in here and download this, and off I go. So that's how I've gotten to where I am at the moment. So I'll bring the screen up. So this shows me, a bit too big, just bring this down. In my settings, again, I've got all my information, so I could hit resync all, and it will go and bring down my members, PBs, events, and other things like that, and rebuild all the events for today. Okay, so it's just gone and done that. There's a bunch of options in here, a few new ones which you may not have seen because I've just released them. I can set for high jump the maximum number of heights. So there's only going to be the bar set at 1 meter, 110 and 120, or the maximum number of jumps. So each athlete, regardless of the height of the bar, has a maximum number of 6 if I choose to use these options. Another one I like to have turned on is always expand field results entry, and then I've got my sort details saved here. Okay, so excuse me, let's go to high jump first, one of the ones we've done a bit of work on over winter. If I choose 13 female, it tells me there's 16 athletes for this. I'll just make this a bit bigger. So with this screen here as well, there's some updates. This is how you can slide the bar, or you can use this little increment. So that would do 1 centimeter increment, and then this will do 10 center increments. So we're going to set it at 101. Here are all my athletes. I've got my maximum of 3 heights I'm allowed to set, and my current height is 101, so let's go and start with athlete 1. This is a pass. They've just cleared the bar. Next athlete. Hit the bar, cleared the bar. Next athlete. Hit the bar, cleared the bar. First, second, third. We can also see that Amy has now had 3 of maximum of 6 jumps if I wanted to keep using that setting. Next athlete, sitting out. They're a hot shot. They don't want to waste their time on 101. Hit, hit, hit. They're out. So they can't progress to the next height. Hit, hit, passed, passed, another pass. So you get the idea. You just hit the cross or the circle depending on what's happened. Now that I've done this, only 8 of 16 athletes have actually been available to go to the next height. So I'm just going to add a height. Let's raise it up by 5 centimeters. Now I've only got 8 athletes, and I'm up to my second of third height based on my rules. Obviously I've just made those up. You may not even need those rules, but they're there. So let's start from the top. We've got a pass. Yes. Next athlete. Next athlete. So we can see 6, so that's Amy's final height. She can't do any more after this one. And let's see how this athlete goes. Okay, so that's everyone. Now we can go and do another height. Add up another 5 centimeters. Now I can't add any more heights. And let's see how we go with athletes who are maxed out. Okay, so she's achieved her maximum number of heights. So she's out, and so on. So that's basically how the keyboard works. From here I can do an upload. So it's just uploaded everyone. And if I jump up here into Results HQ, and jump into here and go with results, see that there's a bunch of high jump results in here now. And if I sort these by place, we can see that's those, and then here's our person that bombed out in round 1. Okay, so that's how to use high jump. So just finish that, go back, and that's just review of what was actually done. Now that's high jump. Long jump, shot put, same sort of deal as far as the way the screen works. You've got your little keyboard that pops up. Here's attempt 1, so Alfred has a PB of 14.8, so let's put in 14.9, and there's a little star, there's a PB, 13.7, so let's make this 13.5 next, no PB star, and so on. So you can see that's how you go through. That's for the first round of results. Then here's the second round and the third round. Or I can just put everything into round one if we just let them through 3 times and then we save it. So depending on how you work. So that's using the list to show all my athletes. Another cool little feature is if I hit this little arrow, then I'm denominating athletes. So you see up the top where it's 11 nominated and 3 denominated. So I can do a bit of a roll call and find out who's actually here today and remove those that are not. So I've only got these 6 athletes that are actually here today. And then I can also do an upload from the screen, assuming that I've got some internet. And there's the places. Now here's one other thing they may not be aware of. I'll go down to discus. So instead of clicking on the age group, and I can mash it up, so I could put a whole bunch of athletes together. Or I could just click on the name where it says discus and it brings me into here. Now I can just start typing in a name, putting some results in. I can put in result 2. That's a really big one. And then my next athlete, and so on. So I don't actually need to click on any buttons as long as I know the athlete's name or their number, then I can find them and I can key their result in. Then once I'm happy with that, I can go upload, get those results up. Once I'm back here, I do have the option to upload all from this device as well. So that's everything that's happened tonight or today. We just push through. Okay, so that's Competition HQ. So where to download the login details. So you just put your email and password in when you download the app. We key in some long jump and upload and some high jump. So we've gone through comp and race. They're both free. They're available for you to download. As long as you've got the correct username and password, then you can access those. Thanks for your time, guys, and have a great day.